In Illustrator, you can transform content by rotating, moving, scaling, and more. So let's take a look at some of the ways you can apply transformations to artwork in this project to complete it. You can open this file from the practice files if you'd like to follow along. First, you'll start by resizing some content. So select the Selection tool in the Tools panel on the left. Then click to select the circle here. To zoom into the artwork, choose View, Zoom In, and do that a few times so that it's a little bit closer. Now with the shape selected, notice the box around it with these handles. This is called a bounding box. You can transform artwork in different ways by dragging these handles. If you don't see the bounding box, choose View, Show Bounding Box. If you see Hide Bounding Box, you're all set. Okay, drag a handle on the corner of this box, and as you drag, look for these crosshairs in the center. They tell you it's a circle. Now make sure your circle is about this big, and then release the mouse button. Then drag it onto the center of the flower shapes on the right. Now that's one way to transform shapes, visually, by dragging. Next, you'll transform a shape by entering specific values in the Properties panel. In the Properties panel, which you see here on the right, you can change a shape's width, height, rotation, and a lot more. Specifying values can ensure precision and also lets you see a shape's dimensions and any transformations already applied to that shape. So with the circle still selected, click this option to constrain the width and height, meaning if you change one value, the other changes proportionally. Then select this width value by dragging across and type 0.2. Then click in the height field and you'll notice that the dimension changes maintaining the same proportions. Now you'll rotate a shape. So click this yellow flower shape to select it. This shape needs to be rotated so it looks good when you add it to the other flower shapes you see on the right. To rotate it, move the pointer just off of any corner and you should see these rotate arrows. When you see them, click and drag to rotate it. As you rotate, you'll see a gray measurement label with the rotation angle. Now keep dragging, and as you drag, press the Shift key to constrain the rotation to 45 degrees. When it looks like this, release the mouse button first, and then release the key. Drag this flower onto the flower shapes on the right, roughly in the center. Now it appears behind the other shapes because it was created before the other flower shapes that are above it. All objects in Illustrator are stacked one on top of the previous. This yellow flower shape would look better if it was a little bit larger, so you'll resize this artwork from its center because it's already in the correct position. Start dragging one of the corners of the bounding box, and as you drag, press Shift and Option on Mac or Shift and Alt on Windows and drag to make it bigger. Release the mouse button and then the keys when it's about this size. The Option or Alt key resizes the artwork from the center, and the Shift key constrains the proportions so you don't distort it as you're resizing. Okay, to see everything again, choose View, Fit Artboard and Window. Now you'll move all these flower shapes into position. So drag across the flower shapes to select them, and then drag the entire flower into position here. Now this dome shape you see up here actually needs to be rotated as well. Using the Rotate tool in the Tools panel, you can set a point to rotate around, this point down here. That way you don't have to move it when you're done rotating. So first, click to select this orange dome shape. Then select the Rotate tool in the Tools panel on the left. If you move the pointer over here, you'll notice this crosshair in the center of the shape. This is called the reference point. It tells you that if you rotate the shape, it'll rotate around the center. To move this point, click and release in the corner to set the reference point, or where it will rotate around now. Then move the pointer away, and press and drag anywhere out here to rotate the shape. As you drag, press the Shift key to constrain the movement. When it's in place, release the mouse button, and then the key. So that you can see all the final artwork here, you'll deselect everything. So choose Select, Deselect. There really are a lot of options for transforming artwork, and it's something you'll do often. It's also a great way to create distinctive artwork. So experiment with the different ways to transform you've learned here, from resizing and rotating to skewing, reflecting, and a whole lot more.